the older guys and all the girls, you know, they take it different ways. The guys take it like more differently than the girls. Say it was like one of their brethren, one of their guys that passed away, like they'll take it a totally different way than a girl would, you know, because that's his friend. They chill together and everything, you know. So it's like they'll feel that they were gonna have to like go and like revenge his life or whatever, go get revenge on whoever did that to him. That's how they feel. Like for females, I don't really. It's like they take it. It's like emotion. They take it to heart. Some get stressed out, you know, turn to other things to like relieve their stress or whatever, you know. So it's like it's different ages, you know. Adults, they take it different way. You know, a mother losing her son or her daughter, you know, they'll take it harder, you know.
I go to so many funerals, so many, because with HIV/AIDS work, and then with the You Move Moms, you know, I've been to funerals of so complicated grief. So this is not like, oh well, you know, this person died peacefully and you're sleeping and you think, well, there's not a lot of trauma or there's not a lot of pain around the death. AIDS-related loss, a lot of pain because of all the issues that come with HIV and AIDS. Murder of our young black males, a lot of pain that comes with those deaths. And yet at funerals, I see the boys and the men, the father. There's another funeral I went to in June, and I don't even think I saw Dad cry, you know. And what is that about? And I think that's about the message that Dad got, you know, earlier in his life from watching the other men, or hearing from women around that were raising him, that, you know, you be a big boy and you don't be a wussy and don't be a sissy and all this stuff. Whereas for girls, we get more permission to cry. And although there's that song, Big Girls Don't Cry, so we can only cry to a certain point, and actually a lot of us too as women now are kind of have shut down because of a lot of experiences. So we too have cut it off. So it seems like up to a certain age, it's okay, but then at a point, whether you're male or female, it's like, all right, you know, that's enough. And I remember being at my cousin's funeral. So this is also about how we internalize messages and how grief is experienced differently, even in families. So this is years ago, about 10 years now, in New York, my cousin. And when they were putting his body into the ground, my aunt, not his mom, his auntie, she was getting ready to start to wail, because you know how we do this thing when the body goes down, it's like this into the ground. It's like the last time I'm gonna see this person. And people who might have been holding it together, that's the time when everything busts loose and people are ready to throw themselves in the hole and whatever. And my Auntie Elsie, she was getting ready to do a big wail, and his mom, my Aunt Eula, she went like, "Don't you do that," or something like that. But what basically was saying like, not here. Which is, that's how she's been conditioned. That's how she messages. She's internalized. Keep it together. Whereas my Auntie Elsie, and that is actually my Auntie Elsie. I hope they don't see this video. But anyhow, my Auntie Elsie is one who's how she lives her life is how she grieves. Very expressive, and everyone was like, no. And so it happens even in our community of women, where depending on what we were told, that's how we're going to grieve. And for the men, definitely, you don't see a lot of expression.
Actually, my father's he was well revered, and because he had converted to Islam, and he was buried as a Muslim person, the time between his death and the actual burial was very fast. So he died on the Friday and he was buried on the Sunday. It wasn't so much shame, but there was anger for me because of the way in which the Muslim service goes. I felt like I didn't have a way to sort of like publicly acknowledge or say, this is my dad and I'll be missing him. The ceremony itself, one, is like about 15 minutes. It's not like, 3 hours or an hour or anything like that. There's no long eulogies. It's just quick. And then when they go from the mosque now to the gravesite, I was told that as a woman who is not married, I would need to be accompanied by a male to go to the gravesite. And I was told that even my nephew, who is like 6 years old, right, and male, could walk with me to the gravesite. But I, a grown woman of 54 years old, could not walk up unaccompanied to say goodbye to my dad. So I was so livid that in fact I didn't go. And there's a part of me that misses that. My brother took a camera, he had a digital camera, and I did see some of it, you know, like after. To wash and prepare him, men had to do that. And so like my, you know, nephews, my father's grandsons and stuff, who were having a hard time, some of them. One brother of mine said, I can't deal with it. He said, I can do everything else, but I can't do that. So, I mean, it was all taken care of and it was done. But I was saying, like, I would like to have done that, you know. I remember that I had gone into the room when he had died and stuff, and it was me who closed his eyes, right? And another aunt from New York. So, I mean, I had my farewells, but I guess maybe just in the formal ritual part, those practices weren't really very inclusive of me, you know, and it hurt, and it made me angry. I really think that age and the type of loss is also, like, as a black person, black woman, is important. For me, a lot of anger, not at the loss that my dad is gone or whatever it is. It's just that was what I was left with. That was, and maybe it was because of the whole ritual or whatever it is that I had all that anger and stuff. But I see a lot of other women, I would talk with other women, and they have that too. And this idea of sort of, you have to be strong, and you can't show, you can't really show what you're feeling because it's weak. It's weak to cry and display all of this. And there's sort of almost like a time. There's a time for grieving. So you've got like, maybe a month or something like that, if that amount of time. And then you should be all cried out. You should be over it and move on. And what happens to me is, because I'm sort of like not showing a lot of emotion or whatever on my face, the assumption is that you don't feel anything, or you're not feeling anything. Inside, I'm dying. But you're not going to tell that from my facial expression when I'm out there. Because when I'm out there in the world, I got to put on the face to meet the faces I meet.